Welcome to Hero Wars Info. My name is Ryan. Today we're going to be going into a deep dive on Lyria. Lyria has been in Hero Wars for about 4 to 5 months at this point, and she has become quickly rose to the top of the ranks in terms of best heroes because she counters some of the popular teams that used to be a lot more present. So why is Lyria so good? That's what we're going to dive into. I'm going to be talking about her strengths, her weaknesses, who counters her, who she's good against, and the types of teams that you would use her with. So what you need to know is Lyria is a strength-based hero, and she has 4 distinct abilities. The first one is the Soul Reaper. So Lyria collects a soul every time someone dies on the battlefield. Once activated, Lyria opens a portal to the realm of the dead, unleashing vengeful spirits. The portal releases at least 3, with each of them dealing 1 strike. The number of extra spirits scales with the number of reaped souls, but cannot exceed 7. Each extra hit consumes 1 reaped soul. All hits target the enemy with the lowest health. So this is her ultimate ability, and you should notice that she always releases at least 3. There will be more that get released if someone dies on the battlefield. So it doesn't matter if it's your team, the opposing team, she gets stronger, or her ult gets stronger as people die. And it will target the enemy with the lowest health, which is really good because that usually can knock someone out of the battle. Next up is Bonds of Alliance. Lyria binds herself to the ally with the highest physical attack for 12 seconds. Both Lyria and the bonded ally receive a vampirism bonus, which is very good. While the Bonds of Alliance are active, vampirism restores health for them both. If the bonded ally is undead, they both get a physical attack bonus. So this is why you see her in a lot of teams with like Akira, because that will also receive a physical attack bonus. Now, the vampirism is more important than the physical attack, honestly. But this is a good ability, especially if you have a hero like Akira is good, and Ishmael is good. Basically, any of the like strong physical attackers, like even Dante would be good here in terms of aligning next to. The next step, we have Children of the Grave. Lyria summons 3 spirits. The spirits chase the enemy who has dealt the most damage in the last 10 seconds. The effect lasts 10 seconds. While the spirits are present, the chased hero cannot attack anyone except them, while other heroes cannot target the spirits. So the spirit's health is relatively low. It's 0.25% health plus 9750. So it's relatively easy to kill them. The nice thing is that it basically stops someone who is the highest damage dealer from continuing to deal damage to your team. And potentially, if they do their ultimate ability on those spirits, depending on the hero, then that can really save your team. And then lastly, and this is the most well-known ability, the Shackles of Doom. It's a passive skill. The hero exudes an aura that decreases the dodge stat of all enemies within the area of effect. All affected enemies receive additional physical damage from physical attacks. The size of the aura scales with the number of undead units and allied team. So the dodge reduction is 30% physical attack plus 6,500, and the extra damage is just 10% physical attack. So why is this so good? Because there's a lot of Dante teams, there's a lot of Aurora teams, teams with Heidi, where these heroes would be like hard to kill, especially if you're a physical attacking team. Like those were the counters to physical attacking teams. With Lyria, that's changed. And Aurora against Lyria, the Lyria is going to win 100% of the time. Lyria just absolutely counters Dante, absolutely counters Aurora, or any other dodge hero based off of where that aura currently is. And not only that, does it stop them from dodging, it also gets them to have additional physical damage. So it just makes them even weaker. And that was the only thing that was keeping them alive, was dodging. So now they're dying extra fast. So these 4 abilities make for a pretty solid hero. Walking through the skins, Lyria only has 2 skins. Hopefully you got a Masquerade skin with the ticket. I'm assuming we will see more skins as she gets further and further developed. She's already a very strong hero with just these 2. In terms of priority, you want to go with physical attack first and then strength. Now, I mentioned she is a undead character, so she does match well with other undeads. And you can see the heroes with the undead special. There's only 5 of them. So like a Corvus and Kira. And then she is a warrior, and her main hero stat is strength, which means that each time that a strength gets bonus of an extra physical attack, whenever you add strength, not only do you get that 40 points of health, but you also get 1 point of physical attack as well. Now, in terms of items, Lyria is going to be heavily dependent on Lycanthrope Fangs. That is going to be one of the big things that you are going to want to try to farm while you are building her up. The other item is Harunian Helms. Because she is a strength-based hero, Harunian Helms are based on strength. So you're going to have a ton of both of those. A ton of Lycanthrope's Fangs and a ton of Harunian Helms. As long as you have those, all the rest of the materials really come into play relatively easily. In terms of glyph priority, number 1 is going to be physical attack. That is her main stat. She is a damage dealer. That's what you want to be focusing on. For me, I then move over to health, followed by strength, and then you can choose between armor or magic defense. Depending on the teams in your server, these are relatively the same. So it really depends on which one you want to level up. Next up, artifacts. I think there's a pretty clear priority here. Number 1, her weapon is by far the most important artifact to level up. Armor penetration is a great weapon artifact. You combine her with other physical attacking teams, and it really can do a lot of damage. Armor penetration is what you want, followed by number 2, strength, with the ring, and number 3, the Defender's Covenant, which gives her the armor and magic defense. Now, I will say this can change. If you are planning on using Lyria as a tank, then the armor and magic defense do have more importance. I personally run Lyria as kind of a tank with Aidan to support, which also improves the health, magic defense, and armor. So if you are planning on running that type of team and having Lyria as your tank, then obviously you can update the glyphs and the priority of what you're trying to build her out with. And then lastly, she is not ascended. She does fall within the warrior branch, so that is what you're going to want to upgrade. So let's go ahead and jump into a combat training. And I'm going to kind of give you an idea and show you where some of her abilities are coming out so that as you fight, you'll be able to see those abilities and what they do. So let's go ahead, times it by 4 right now for a second. Okay, you can see number 1. Let's slow it down. You see this little circle? That is her anti-dodge circle right there. So that means that anyone that is within that is going to have negative dodge and greater physical attack against them. So you can see that right now Nebula is in that sphere. So Nebula's physical dodge is going to go down pretty significantly. All right. And now there's going to be some other abilities that are going to be coming up in just a second. You can see here Aurora. You see these little spirits that have come out. Iris has had to turn around and has started to attack these spirits. So Iris is not doing any damage. Now my Lyria is about to ult. And you're going to see something right here. She opens the portal and it's going to attack Nebula because that's the lowest health. And I've killed 2 people, so we should see 5 hits. But unfortunately, Lara Croft's ult is just going to finish that team off. But if you actually noticed at the end, a team like this that is very dodge dependent, let's see how damaged my team is at the end based off of this. This is why I love facing this team in AOC. Boom. Everyone's almost at full health, right? And now I have Ishmael pretty heavily charged. That makes the next fight a lot easier. So she's absolutely devastating to dodge teams. She's basically knocked Dante completely out of the meta. You don't see many full Dante teams because Lyria is such a devastating counter. So, what are Lyria's strengths? Obviously, we've been talking about it the entire time, dodge teams. She's great against dodge teams. She's also very good at elevating people around her, especially physical attack heroes with the vampirism bonus. She can be very tanky. So she has if you don't want to use a traditional tank, she does a great job of having that, especially if you pair her with an Aidan that can just boost her abilities there. She's also very good at knocking off wounded members of the opposing team quickly so that the opposing team is just less powerful. If you can knock off one person on the opposing team fast, then that's going to make the rest of the battle very easy. So what are some of her weaknesses? Well, she can be killed relatively fast against a critical hit team. Whenever I'm trying to beat a straight up Lyria team, and whenever I talk about a Lyria team, I'm talking about like a Lyria, Sebastian, Nebula, Lara Croft, Aidan. Like that's focused only on Lyria for the most part. I can just use Ishmael, critical hit hero, has a decent amount of health if I pair him with Aidan, and Lyria will be getting killed relatively quickly without killing Ishmael. It's not the best matchup for Lyria. Also, anyone that is high armor, so you're talking like the Astaroths, where we're starting to get to a point where if you have an armor artifact, those are going to really stop her. So high armor tanks or a team that has a lot of armor artifacts on there that can ult to really reduce her damage is going to make sure she has a tough time. So counters, I've already talked about Ishmael. I've talked about Astaroth. If you have a Martha that is able to ult quickly, that was going to be a counter to Lyria. And basically any hero that has a armor artifact, and the artifact, whenever they ult, is going to make it a lot harder time for her. Now, who is she good against? She's great against Aurora. She's great against Dante. She's great against Heidi. She's great against Nebula. You know, all the dodge heroes she's very good against. She's solid against magic teams. She's not, like, amazing against them, but she can do very well. And she is also good with physical attacking teams. As long as, like, the biggest problem for physical attacking teams was the dodge, and she counters that. So she's very good against those. She's just very solid all around. Like, it is relatively hard to counter her unless you know the teams. So she's very good against those. But she's best used with Aidan. I love just having Aidan and Lyria at the front of my line because Lyria will just be very hard to kill, have more armor, have more magic defense, and with the vampirism, that's going to continue to heal up her and the next highest physical attacking hero. Now, who I wouldn't use in her team, I would not put Lyria and then have a magic team, right? You want to bring her with physical attack heroes. So she's also good with Kira. She's good with Jing Mao. She's good with Dante. Any of those are great options to have along beside her as a kind of additional damage dealer. And I would also say that Sebastian should be in most of the teams with her to get a crit hit chance in there so that Lyria can do even more damage. So, based off of everything, where do I rank Lyria? I would put her right now solidly in the A grade. She is meta currently. She can be countered, but every hero can be countered in Hero Wars. But we're going to put her solidly in the A rank, someone you definitely should be leveling up whenever you can, and someone who you can use in a lot of different situations. Thanks so much for watching.